Um, like, let me tell y'all, we live. I ain't been here in a minute. I'll be glad when this hair get kind of nappy. Can I charge this phone up? Probably not. Probably not. Hey, KK, what's going on, girl? What's going on? Do this charger work? No. Why do Apple products? Why do the chargers for like your computer don't charge your phone? Apple be doing too much. My little setup area, my desk area is so junky because I was making jewelry earlier this morning and I didn't clean up well, so I got stuff I got to clean up. So I wanted to make sure. Thank you. He don't watch my videos, so he ain't gonna never see this. Or he might. But I doubt it very seriously because he doesn't. He may come across this, but I wanted to tell him happy birthday and just reminisce on old times. Hakeem, this my youngest son. It's his birthday. My youngest boy. And in my spirit, after he was born, and I was only 24, I think. No, I was 23, I think. He was born in April, and I think I turned 24 that August. So I think I was 23 years old, but in my spirit, I knew that there would not be another child. In my spirit, I knew that he was my last child. Like it was like the Holy Spirit had told me you ain't gonna have no more kids. And it's not that I couldn't have any more kids, but I wanted all of my children, and I hope one day my kids do see this. I wanted all of my kids to have the same father. And Hakeem was a makeup baby. Me and his dad had separated and we had got back together. And when we got back together, I got pregnant. So he was our makeup child because I already had his older brother. And we we were going through a really rough patch and we had separated and we got back together and I got pregnant. And I was praying that it was going to be a girl because I already had a boy. And that fantasy in your mind, you want a boy and a girl, you want a boy and a girl, you want a boy and a girl so bad. But I didn't find out until a week or 2 weeks before he was born that it was a boy. Because they wasn't just doing ultrasounds back in the 80s. You just don't, they just wasn't passing out ultrasounds like they pass out candy. like they do now. You find out what the sex of the child is at like 20 weeks. They wasn't doing that when I was pregnant. If it was nothing, if they didn't feel like it was anything wrong with the baby, or they didn't feel like there was a reason to do an ultrasound, they wasn't doing ultrasounds like that. So I didn't know what my first child was until he was born. Now, Hakeem, the only reason why I knew what he was because my amniotic sac started leaking. It didn't have as much fluid in it as it should have. They said that was the only reason why they did an ultrasound. This was 2 weeks before he was born. As a matter of fact, right after they did that, or not too long after they did the ultrasound, um, I started having contractions, and they were like, "Oh, we really want him to stay in there a little bit longer." Um, and they told me it was a boy, so I knew then that it was a boy. We hadn't, like we were buying very gender neutral clothes. Like we had clothes. Luckily, we had clothes from his brother. But of course, a new baby, you don't do want to buy some new things. So we were buying, just gender neutral um pajamas and stuff like that. No, like outfits and stuff. How y'all be dressing the babies in full-fledged tuxedos and stuff to leave the hospital. Both of my babies left the hospital in sleepers. They didn't leave the hospital in the Gucci pants and shirt and shoes and all that stuff. But anyway, that's when I found out it was a boy. And I was slightly disappointed because I, really, really wanted a little girl. But when he was born and I saw his little face and how much he looked like me, because my oldest son, soon as he was born, like my oldest son is the spitting image of his dad. To me, when I look at him, I really don't see that much of myself in him. I see his dad. He is just the spitting image of his dad. And when Hakeem was born, he was the spitting image of me. I mean, it just looked like I had him by myself. Like his daddy didn't contribute to him at all. Even his daddy, when he was born, was like, that boy looks so much like you. I was like, okay, so we both got one. You got one and I got one. And to this day, I still look at him and I still see more of myself than I do his father. There's a picture of me, Hakeem, and Amani together. And all of my friends are like, the three of y'all look just alike. It's just copy, paste, paste. Because he looks so much like me. And Amani looks just like him. So it's just copy, paste, paste. Because all three of us, I think, look exactly alike. He's so much like me. And he's always been. And I think that I spoiled him because I've always felt like, okay, this is my last baby. I ain't gonna, have no more kids. So I spoiled him so much as a baby. And then me and my ex-husband, we did decide after Hakeem was maybe 10 months old, we did decide to get a divorce. So, when you're going through a divorce, I think that, brings you closer to your children. And Hakeem was so young. He was a baby still, 10 months old. He wasn't quite a year old yet. And I think it was my kids, my oldest son also, that kept me from falling into this serious depression when I got a divorce. And I've never thanked them, or I've never really told them like how severe, going through a divorce with two small kids. Like, I've never, since my kids have been adults, I've never sat down and really told them. Like, my kids have never really heard my side of the story. And we've never talked about what happened, you know, in that situation with their dad really since we've been adults. We have talked when they were like in their 20s, but that to me, you're still young. In your 20s, you're still young. Your mind is still developing. Both of my kids are in their 30s now. We grown, so we can sit down and have, real grown conversations now, and they can really understand because their minds are fully developed. They are adults. And I think a lot of the reason why I haven't talked about a lot of stuff with them is because their dad is gone and he can't defend himself. And I don't like to talk about people that are deceased. He can't tell his side of the story, even though I ain't gonna lie on him. And I think my kids know that I'm not gonna lie. This real. This is, my side. He didn't get a chance to tell his side, but that's unfortunate. But I do have a side, to tell. And I really appreciate my kids. I love both of them dearly. And I think because we've been through so much, my kids probably, sometimes I think your boys don't understand really how much you love them. You know, because they get grown, they want to assert themselves as adults. They're men. They want you to treat them like men. And I've always been like, okay, I'm have to look at you like a man. I know that you're a man. I have to start treating you like a man, like an adult, but you're still my child. And there have been times when I have felt that distance in us. And a lot of that distance, I think, is them, trying to grow into being a man. And as a mother, I've had to, accept that they still love me, but we're not going to have the same relationship that we had when they would fall and would not want anybody but me. And it's been a challenge. It is a challenge for mothers to, let your kids go and grow. I'm happy that, they've both grown, and I'm my oldest son, we still praying for him. But Hakeem, he has a career. I'm just so proud of him because it was such a struggle for a while. Him going in and out of jail and, doing things that I felt like, he didn't have to do. Like things that I didn't raise you like that. These are not things that, you know, I never wanted to talk to you from a jail cell. No mother does. Like, that hurts us more than anything else in the world. But he has gotten his life together. He, works for Ford. He's into cars. He just, got his certificate from college. And I'm just so proud of him. So proud of him. I don't think he will, he just doesn't understand how proud I am. I'm constantly telling him, like, every time we talk, I always tell him how much I love him and how proud of him I am. And you know how, all right, thank you. Because he just one of them hard type guys. And I'm like, you can soften up for me. I'm your mother. And let me be that cushion for you. You don't have to be hard around me. Like, you can drop that persona around me because I'm your mom. But I think he's just been like that so much. It's like the streets will, harden your kids up to the point that it's hard for them to be soft again. I don't want him to be, pillow soft, but when you around me, you don't have to be tough. I'm your mama. You know, my arms is always open. But I think your kids, especially if you have kids that, grew up in the hood and, you know, have lived that street life, it's hard for them to be soft again. I'm going to read your comments in a minute. I really thought that him having a daughter would soften him up, but that didn't even do it. That didn't soften him up. That's just who he is. But I just, if he does see this video, Keem, I love you so much. You and your brother, you guys have always been, the most important thing in the world to me. And you always will be, no matter what. You guys are my pride and joy. Every time I take a shower and look at my body, these stretch marks and stuff, I'm like, I did that. I carried two people, two term. I carried them, with the Lord's help. I brought you in this world. Okay? And I'm always going to love you. We didn't have our little ups and downs, but through them ups and downs, I'm still your mama. No matter what, no matter how bad things, get, or, things that we've both said to each other, I'm still your mama. I still love you. So, Kay says sleepers, hand mittens, and girl, I be seeing some of these people now who be putting all these jeans and leaving the hospital. Baby got on a whole puff coat, jeans, Timberland boots, and both of my babies left the hospital with pajamas on, wrapped up in a blanket. I wasn't putting all that mess on my kids. My kids didn't even like wear clothes like that often. Like, I put a little cute, maybe a little cute something on them to take them to church or whatever. But like jeans and overalls and all that kind of stuff, they didn't really start wearing that kind of stuff until it was like 6 months. I wasn't putting all that heavy stuff on my baby. And shoes and stuff. My kids, they was wearing little, little nice little cute little socks and little soft stuff. I wouldn't put no shoes and boots and all that kind of stuff on my babies until, I felt like their little feet was ready for that. But y'all be putting Timberland boots and my granddaughter, I remember when she was like a couple of months old, I had found her a pair of Uggs. She had Jordans and Uggs and everything else and couldn't even walk. She done grew out of Jordans and Uggs before she could even walk. But that's just the difference in how we treat kids. I wasn't putting all them clothes on my baby. Kay said we had to stay in the house for at least 2 months. You only went out for checkups at the doctor's office and back home. Girl, you wasn't taking that baby out nowhere. Where you going? The only time that I left the house, and you know what was crazy is I had an old school husband too. My first husband was extremely old school. He wasn't playing that either. You stay in the house with that baby. You ain't taking that baby nowhere. My baby ain't going nowhere. Like we didn't even go to church until my first son had to have at least been 3-4 months old before he even let me take the baby to church. You wasn't going nowhere. And my mama was like, what did she say? Put something over the mirrors. Don't let the baby look at himself. All them old school wives' tales. Don't let the baby see his reflection in the mirror because it'll make him teeth hard or something. Honey, mama was like, cover them mirrors up. Don't let that baby see his reflection, and don't you go outside, and don't you look at nobody that's cross-eyed. I mean, they have all these old wives' tales. But yeah, you wasn't leaving the house with no baby. But now, these kids jump up. You had a baby Tuesday, Friday, you at the club. They don't even give their bodies a chance to heal. You know what I mean? Before they're out ripping and running the streets. Because I know when Amani was born, to me, they was taking her out way too early. Amani was like a month old. They didn't take this baby to the movies. For what? Why? Why are you taking her out? She don't need to be going nowhere. But, she wasn't my baby. Just like now, her mama was talking to me today about getting her nose pierced. She 14 years old. And, I'm just grandma. But, honey, if it was up to me, it would be no. No! Why you want to get all this stuff done so early? It's like these newfangled parents rush everything. They had that baby out at the movies at like a month old. That would have never happened. Not with my kids, honey. I coddled. Do you hear me? I coddled both of my children. Both of them. I rocked them to sleep every night. I ain't had that baby, you just throw your baby over in the crib. No, I rocked my babies to sleep every night. And Hakeem. Now, I'm not going to lie. Hakeem was spoiled. Do you hear me? Hakeem didn't want to give up the pacifier. He was my pacifier child. Garion wasn't on the pacifier like that, but Hakeem was. So 2 years old, I was like, all right, bruh, you're not taking that pacifier out the house. You gotta leave that here. Now I'll let you do it here, but you can't take it out in public. He would walk all the way to the front door with the pacifier, just getting his last little sucks in. And then he would put it on the dining room table. And, we would leave in the morning. I would drop him off at the daycare and stuff. Honey, when he got home, that boy would take his coat off and run to that table and get that pacifier and go get on that couch and just sit there and suck his pacifier like, I've been waiting on this all day. Little crackhead. He finally gave it up. But that pacifier, that was his nemesis. That pacifier, and then we went from that to potty training. I mean, he would legit leave the house, be walking out the door and be like, I forgot my pull-up. You did what? I forgot my pull-up. Like talking. No, you're going to have to start going to the toilet. You're too smart. I forgot my pull-up. I got to go back. Just smart. But I spoiled him, like I didn't rush him into potty training. I didn't, take the pacifier from him. Because, like when that's your last child, you just let him be a baby until he just wasn't a baby anymore. And I don't regret that. I don't. I feel like kids shouldn't be rushed. And if you don't rush them into potty training or, removing the pacifier and all of that, oh, he gonna have buck teeth, he gonna have bad teeth. He has beautiful teeth. And he sucked the pacifier and he was well into 2 because he was talking. So he was well into 2. Beautiful teeth, no buck teeth, no problems with his teeth, nothing. But when you allow your children to, now I'm not saying have a 5-year-old that's not potty trained, slowly push them into doing certain things. But if you wait until they start to show an interest in it, they'll pick it up quicker. Because, he saw his brother going to the bathroom and, wearing Spider-Man underwear and Ninja Turtle underwear and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, he wanted to do it. And when he wanted to do it, he did it. And it was his brother that basically potty trained him. He kept showing him what to do and, sit here, do this, stand up, go here, go. And he was the one that, moved him into really using the bathroom. I didn't even really have to do it, I had to supervise him because his brother took him to the bathroom and I heard him in there telling him, if you don't do so and so, I'm gonna whoop you. So I had to go in there and be like, don't be in here whooping that baby, okay? Don't do that. So I had to supervise them because his brother was getting a little bit impatient and he was about to tear that behind up because he wasn't potty training like he told him to. Because he had told him, you can't be sitting on the toilet because girls do that unless you gotta poop. You gotta stand up like a boy. Boys stand up. Girls sit down unless you gotta poop. And I guess Hakeem wanted to sit down, and honey, his brother was like, I would sit down again. I'd tear you up. So, happy birthday to him. I was hoping that Tina would come in here because, child, I had a dream about Tina last night. Me and Miss Tina had then got into it with somebody and a dog was chasing us down the street. And I'm riding the bike and I'm telling Tina to get on the back of the bike because Tina is running. But Tina is slow. She was, what? I'm like, get on the bike, girl, get on, jump on the back. Cause I'm, pedaling because this dog is chasing us. And Tina is running instead of getting on the bike with me. She's like running. And I don't want to slow down because I don't want this dog to catch us. And child, I am screaming at Tina to get on this bike, and we finally like ran up in these random people house, and it looked like it was a church. And we ended up, and then we ran up in there. I ran up in there with the bike and everything. And Tina was right behind me, and I guess the dog, went on up the street. In the dream change, we at this church-like situation, and we felt like we had to stay there because we had ran up in there, and we didn't want to tell the people that we was running from a dog, so we just like stayed there and pretend like we really wanted to be at the church. I was like, where is Tina? And why am I having crazy dreams about her? That was all I wanted to come here to say was happy birthday and tell you guys that I am okay. I do have one more test that I have to get done. I gotta have a stress test. Um, I guess when they, when you go into the hospital and they do all these tests and stuff, they got 3 or 4 tests that they like to, if they run one test on your heart, they did a CT scan. So then the doctor wanted to do a stress test. And they would have did it while I was in the hospital, but they would have had to admit me because I guess the nuclear medicine didn't open until the next morning or whatever. And so they would have had to admit me that night. And then I would have had to test the next morning. But the doctor was like, no, you can go home and come back. But I didn't want to have the test at that hospital. Now, let me tell y'all what happened at the hospital. So, now this is a Kaiser facility, not too far from where we live. I'm not going to say which one, but it was dirty. It's a older hospital, for one thing. And it looks like it on the outside and the inside. There were like gloves on the floor where it looks like the nurse had took the glove off and tried to throw it in the garbage can and like missed the garbage can. I saw that in more than one place. So the people were coming around, the housekeepers were coming around to, clean up and empty the garbage and stuff. But the floors were just dirty. The hospital was just dirty. The nurses just seemed like they didn't want to be there. Like, when I got to the hospital, it was like 11 o'clock at night. Do you know that I was in 2 rooms before the nurse finally said, would you like a blanket? I was laying there under my coat. I had took my jacket off and had my jacket across my upper body because they never gave me a gown. So I had on my street clothes the whole time. They never gave me a gown. So I'm in the first room was where they did the EKG and stuff. And she didn't even put on a gown to do my EKG. She was like, oh no, just, do you have on a bra? I said no. She said, oh, well, just raise your shirt up. So, okay. So I just, raised my shirt up. They did the EKG. And then I had to wait. So I'm sitting back there waiting. That was when I put my jacket across me because it was chilly. So then she said, "Oh, the doctor has wants to do a chest X-ray." So then they took me to X-ray, and they did that. And after they did that, they took me back out in the waiting room. Then they called my name and brought me back to the back. And that's when she was like, "Oh, the doctor has requested a CT scan." So I'm in the bed waiting for them to come pick me up for the CT scan. Still no gown, still no blanket. So after I come back from before I left for the CT scan, the nurse said, "I'm going to have to start an IV on you because when you go for the CT scan, they're going to do contrast." I said, "Oh," she said, "Do you know what that is?" And I said, "Yeah, I've had it before." She said, "Okay." So I removed my jacket, still no gown, cleaned my arm, started the IV. So when she got finished with the IV, they rolled me back to the back to do the CT to the CT area. When I came back, I got back in the bed and she was like, "Oh, do you want a blanket? Because I don't know how long you're gonna be here." And I was like, "Yeah." First time I ever been in the hospital, they don't put a gown on you and didn't even offer me a blanket until I had been there for a while. So after I was released, the doctor was like, "Oh, well, you can come back and do the stress test." And I was like, "I ain't coming back here. I'm not coming back here." And so I left a message for my regular doctor. I said, "Hey, can I get the stress test in Oakland? Because I don't want to use that facility for the stress test because that doctor had already put in an order for it." And he was like, "No, just go ahead and do it there because you're gonna delay." I said, we were emailing each other. So I said, "Well, for one, I missed the test already because it was at 1 o'clock. So I had to call the office and tell them what happened." And she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Miss Brown. I will tell Dr. Davis, what happened to you. That should not have happened." I was like, that facility was nasty. Like, legit nasty. And when the nurse was where I was laying at was right across from the med cart. And when the nurse, it was so unorganized to me. It really seemed unorganized because when the nurse was looking for the you know how they have the little kit to start your IV, so all they just pick up that thing and it's got the needle and the tourniquet and all that stuff wrapped up in one kit. It looked like she was having a hard time finding it. She was pulling out drawers and looking through stuff. I was like, these unorganized ass people. I hope she don't. She didn't give me any medicine or anything, so I wasn't like worried about that. But it's just it just seemed really unorganized and it did not seem clean. And it was just so scary for me because it was so many people coming in there sick. It was like the time that I was in the waiting room, it was 3 people in the waiting room vomiting. And I was like, "Lord, whatever they got, I don't want it." That freaked me out. I mean, one man, if a man is screaming, "Help me," it's serious. He was like, help me, I'm in so much pain. And he was like vomiting. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to be here. Like, I legit wanted to leave, but I was having chest pain and I didn't want to leave. So I was like, And my husband, he had to go back to work. He dropped me off at the hospital, and I was like, babe, just go back to work because he's a supervisor, and I wanted him to be able to do what he had to do. You done drop me off at the hospital. If anything happens, they will call you. I'm okay. I'm where somebody could help me. So it wasn't like I could call, I didn't want to call him and be like, oh my God, this hospital is filthy. I don't want to be here. But you talking about soon as I got home, I took everything off and threw it in the dirty clothes basket immediately. Just wrapped all of those things and threw them in the dirty clothes basket and jumped in the shower. And I was like wiping my hair down, and everything that touched anything at that hospital, like, I jumped in the shower, and I did not feel like it. Like, I was so tired because I had been up all night, but I'm like, oh hell no. Socks, shoes, I left my shoes outside because I just felt like the hospital was just nasty. It just it didn't look clean. It didn't even that typical hospital smell. It didn't even have that hospital smell. It was just nasty. So I was like, oh no, I will never. And you know what the scary thing about that is? This hospital treats a lot of people of color. It's in a predominantly Hispanic and African American area. And I just feel like it's like that because of who they treat. And it was like the nurses, like this, it was a young black girl. She looked like 22 at the most. She was in a wheelchair in the waiting room. And so the nurse called her name, and she was like, can you push me to the back? And the nurse was like, what's wrong with you? And she was like, I'm in a lot of pain. I'm in a wheelchair. Can you just roll me to the back? And the nurse was like, you can walk. How do you know she can walk? What would it have done for the nurse to just wheel her to the back? Because when I was in the back, um, and they were going to take me to X-ray, she was like, can you walk? I was like, no, because I didn't feel like walking. Get somebody to wheel me back there. Get a wheelchair and take me to X-ray. If you're not going to push me in the bed, because the other Kaisers that I have went to, X-ray come to you. They have a portable X-ray machine for the emergency department. Every hospital that I've been to, they have a portable X-ray machine. If they don't, they wheel you in your bed or put you in a wheelchair to X-ray. Normally, I've been wheeled down to X-ray in my bed. They just push the whole bed down there, and you get your X-ray, and then they bring you back. But I mean, she didn't say anything to me. She was just like, okay, well, like they were not rude to me. None of the nurses were rude to me. But it was just your customer service sucks. Like, no gown the whole time I'm in the hospital. No gown and no blanket. That's not how I've ever been treated. Because, see, normally I go to another Kaiser, but we went to that one and it was standing room only. Even though I know if I said, I was having chest pains, they would have took me right on to the back, but I've never seen it that packed before. So my husband was like, well, let's just go to the one by the house, the one that we never go to. And I'll never go there again. And I was saying that hey Naya, I was saying that I was going to call Kaiser and speak to their whatever, whoever you talk to when you have bad service. Because that's ridiculous. That hospital is atrocious. It was so nasty, like the baseboards looked like they had not been cleaned in eons. The floor was dirty. It smelled dirty. Like, you got people in here with viruses that's how people pass virus from person to person. It was nasty. The hospital was nasty. Like, I was legit scared that I was going to take something home with me that I didn't even have. Like, I still been scared. And this happened like last week. I still been like, every time I sniffle or something, I'll be like, did I pick something up? The hospital should not be nasty. That's the last place that need to be nasty. So, I don't know. And I have medical training. I'm a certified medical assistant. Like, okay, my certification is probably dead now. But that was my field for a while. I know how you supposed to treat patients. They was legit supposed to give me a gown. They was doing everything with my damn street clothes on. Putting in IVs and everything. With my street clothes on. Sent me to CT scan. I'm in CT with my street clothes on. So was. Who said my hair growing? Tina? It is growing, girl. Tina! Look how it's growing. But I got that. You know how curly it is. It is growing. And I don't know. It just don't want to act right. It's going through that weird stage. But I don't want to cut it into a style. I'm just, oh my God. I'm just like, just let it grow, LaShawn. Just leave it alone. Let it do what it's going to do. I saw the cutest little black girl, in the Sizzler Saturday. Big afro. Just big afro. She was with her mom, or kind of looked like her grandma, but who knows. And I walked up to her. I said, hey, sister, I just want to tell your little girl how cute she is and how beautiful she is with that big old pretty afro. And the lady was like, thank you so much. I'm trying to get her to love her natural hair. I was like, you are the cutest little girl I have seen in a long time. I love your hair. And the little girl was like, the little girl was looking at me like, shut up. I don't want my hair to look like this. But I was like, you are cute. You are so cute. Your hair is so pretty. And I had my little twisties and stuff. So, the little girl looked at me like, all right, grandma, go on, sit down now. And the lady was like, "Thank you so much. Your hair is, so pretty too." It's so important for us to love our natural hair. And it's so weird because earlier I was looking at my hair and I was like, I should put on a wig. But it was warm. And I really don't like to wear wigs when it's warm outside because, I have a hot flash in a minute, child. Be the flashed all out the wig and stuff. So I just had, my natural hair. And I saw this little girl and I was like, oh, she's so cute. I just have to tell her. I just have to tell her how cute she was. And she really was cute. The fro was big. The fro was bigger than she was. I was like, damn, I wish I had that much hair. She had hair for days. Just hair for days. Tina, why you jumped in my dream last night? Me and you out here running from a dog chasing us, and I'm riding a bike. I didn't even have a car. You see what's funny? That even in my dreams, it's very rare that I'm driving. So I'm riding a bike, and I'm telling you to jump on the bike, but I won't slow down because I don't want this dog to catch us. So I'm like, come on, girl, jump on the back of the bike, jump on the bike. And I'm riding and you running behind me. And I keep looking back to see how close this dog is to us. Because you're not running fast enough. Tina, you old slow running self. Tina was just like, what, girl? And I'm like, Tina, come on, girl, get on the bike. But I'm riding. And Tina's running all slow and stuff. And then I duck into this church because Tina won't jump on the bike. And I see this church and we duck into this church. And I'm like, come on, girl. I rode the bike in the church and everything. Jump off the bike and, they having a full blown service. And we got to sit through the service because I didn't want to just like tell the people, oh, we only ran in here because this dog was chasing us. So we ran in the church, and I guess the dog kept on running. And we had to sit through this whole service just because a dog had chased us. What that mean, Tina? Huh? You you took that foot. I told you, don't be putting pictures up like that unless you getting paid. I saw somebody ask you. I was looking at the comments and somebody was like asking you about that too. I'm not putting up no foot pictures unless people paying me. Tina, why do you have dogs chasing us in my dream? What is you out here doing that dogs is chasing you? Let me see what it means when dogs chase you in a dream. Hey Siri, what does it mean if a dog chases you in a dream? Oh, it says it has to do with anxiety and running away from important issues. But this is not a reoccurring dream, though. I only had it one time. So it says dream interpretation. A dog chasing you has a lot to do with anxiety and running away from important issues. Considering dogs are our much loved companions, dogs are loyal, loving, non judgmental creatures who adore their humans. When you dream of dogs, they are often carrying a message. Typically, they want to help you in some way. Chasing you may seem extreme and frightening, but they are desperate to get your attention. Hmm. I don't know what type of attention he was trying to get because he had me spooked. Me and Tina. Both of us was running. I wasn't running. I was riding a bike. Tina was running slow and getting on my nerves. Like, girl, can you run? Can you run faster? I mean, Tina was running so slow that she was pissing me off in this dream because I was like, I'm the old one and I'm moving faster than you. What is wrong with you, girl? Will you run faster? I was hot. I was so mad at Tina because I was like, if we get bit by this dog, it's going to be your fault because I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you, and you out here running hecka slow. Like, what is wrong with you? You slew footed or something? I was hecka mad. Tina, slow running self. Yeah, that was your feet was moving slow, probably because somebody out here trying to buy your feet pics. And your feet was moving slow. That your feet trying to get that money. Girl, I don't know about it for real, but I know I'm not about to be putting my pictures on my feet pics on the internet unless somebody buying them. I know that much. Girl, I need to be selling them. Feet pics and everything else. Shit. There's some people out here really making some good money off of their feet pics. And as people be thinking it's just pretty feet. It's ugly feet too. It's a whole market out here for ugly feet. Fat feet, flat, all kind of feet. It's a genre for all kind of feet. Somebody somebody messaged me one time off on here and was like, "Can you please show your feet?" No. The only way you gonna see my feet is if you pay for them. And then he stopped asking. You're not gonna see my feet for free. Can you please show your feet? And at first I ignored it. I was like, boy, if you don't go somewhere. And then he messaged me and was like, can you please show me your feet? I want to see your feet. You ain't gonna see my feet. Not for free. Oh, and let me tell y'all this too. So I'm sitting here. My primary care physician secretary had told me that they were going to send me the colorectal screening kit. This got my address on it? No. They were going to send me this in the mail. She was going to send me this in the mail. So I was like, all right then. I'm sitting in the ER waiting for them to call my name. And this lady come out, right? And she was like, Miss Brown? And I was like, yes. And she was like, here you go. And she hands me this envelope. And I was like, what is this? And she was like, oh, it's your colorectal screening. I was like, oh, well, they said they was going to mail it. She said, yeah, but you're here. And so, we just thought we'd give it to you. And I was like, well, hell, how you know I was here? She done got me served and everything. I mean, she just walked up to me like she was a process server. She was like, Miss Brown? I was like, yeah, here you go. I'm like, girl, I don't want that. So, I gotta do the little test. It's time sensitive, so you got to do the little thing and hurry up and put it in the mail. And if you ain't never did it before, I'm about to explain it to you. Because I think you start doing this at 50, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. They give you a little paper, like the toilet seat covers, and you put this on top of this will float on top of the water in your toilet. You open this up. I'm not going to open it up now because I don't want to open it up until I get ready to use it. But it seemed like it's made out of the same stuff that the toilet seat covers are made out of. And you lay this, open it up, and lay it on top of the water. And then you poop on top of that. And then it's a little thing in here, like a little brush or something. As a matter of fact, here go the instructions right here. I can read them all to you. It tell you everything that's in there. The tissue, the collector, the shipping pad. It must be in an envelope. The biohazard bag, the envelope, and the instructions. So after you poop, there's a little thing in here, and you stick it in the poop, and then you put it back in here, and it's a biohazard bag in there. You put it in there. You put it in you wrap it up, and then you put it in the biohazard bag, and then you put it in the envelope, and they want you to mail it out after you do it. I think you have to mail it the same day, because I think they have to get it within so many hours, like 48 hours. Mail the envelope within 48 hours. So, like, if I get up and poop in the morning, I'm going to just go on and drop it off. Because, your sample is only fresh for so long. But they give you the little poop. Lay the thing down and poop. And this is the colorectal screening. So they do this so that they don't have to go in and do the colonoscopy. Because I've already had my colonoscopy. But they do this every so often. I think every year after you have your colonoscopy, they do that every year. So I think if you have something abnormal come back, then you have to do a colonoscopy. But if you don't have it, I've never had anything abnormal. So I've only had one colonoscopy, and that was at 50. So now I got to do that. These are just some of the things you have to look forward to when you get my age. Your colonoscopy you have to have at 50. Your mammogram and all that stuff. As a matter of fact, it's time for my mammogram too. I gotta have another one. And I'm not scared of mammograms. A lot of people are like, oh my God, they hurt, they this, they that. They've never hurt me. I've never had a bad mammogram. Like everybody that's ever done my mammogram have been, really nice, and they handled me with care. Maybe it's because my breasts are kind of already flat-ish. They're not real fluffy. So I don't know. I never had a problem. Girl, you're not looking at these arms. Don't you see that? That's why I'll never be like raising. These arms are horrible. But in my defense, I always had fat arms. That's where the majority of my fat is, in my arms and in my stomach. Like my legs are not that big. I don't really have big legs. I compared to my lower body is smaller than my upper body. All my fat is up here. I don't really have a lot of fat at the bottom. So I'm not that big at the bottom. I've always had big arms. Even when I was young, like they didn't hang as much as they do now, but I've always had big arms. Girl, I don't be trying to hide them. I mean, in the summertime, I wear my little dresses and look, I got tattoos. I'm tatted up. I'm not hiding my arms. They big, but I don't hide them. I can't hide them. I cannot hide them. No, I ain't that type of person. The only thing that, I don't show, like I'm not out here wearing crop tops and stuff like that. Now, I do hide my little stomach, but I'm not hiding my arms. I'm gonna wear my tank tops and all that. As a matter of fact, I want to get my tattoo. I don't know if I should get it get my red redone, and I want to bring it down because this took a while for him to do this. And so I was thinking about bringing it down, but I look like I need to get my red redone. These are cherry blossoms. I don't know if y'all can see them. Yeah, they cherry blossoms. So, yeah, my arms I don't hide. I do not hide them. That's why I have tattoos. And I love my tattoos. I love my big arms. Yeah, I was really thinking about doing that. Just because it's something right here, but it's nothing on this side. Like it is this arm. I got my butterflies. Well, a butterfly. But it's nothing on this side. So I was thinking about I got a whole arm left. So I was thinking about um getting another tattoo because my granddaughters, I was thinking about getting um because all of my oldest son, all of his daughters' names are like flowers. Rose, violet, and jade. So I was thinking about getting a rose, a violet, and a jade tattoo right here. This is one of my favorite. I forgot the name of this flower, but I got this one. And my goddaughter, she got the same one. So I was thinking about putting a rose, a violet, and a jade on here for them. So I hope the guy that did my tattoos, I hope he is still alive because he was an older Asian guy in Alameda, California. And I haven't been by his shop in a while. Like he used to stay super busy because Alameda used to be a military town until the Navy pulled out of Alameda. So he used to be super duper busy. But he did basically all of my tattoos. So I wanted to go back. I'm going to get something because I do want something right here. My husband has a tribal design around his arm. He only has one tattoo. I have 11. I got some on my back. the back of my neck, arms, and my kids' names on my leg. And that's it. Oh, and on my foot, I got the moon and some stars on my foot. Me and my best friend. We have the same exact tattoo on our foot. Mine is on the right and hers is on the left. Same exact design. Yeah, we probably going to Alameda soon, and because that's not too far from where we live, and we'll probably go by there and see. Is the shop still? As a matter of fact, you're right. I could just Google. What's the name of it? Ricky's. Can I spell? Hush, Gizmo. Oh, it's still open? He's still open? Good. I'm glad we. Oh, he got an Instagram? Yep. Wait a minute, though. That's not Ricky. Oh, who that is? Oh, yeah, that's him. That's him, little Asian dude. So, yeah, I'm going to go back and let him finish my tattoo. He been doing tattoos for eons. Oh, really? Yeah, my hair has grown. It's grown out a lot. It is really growing. So I'm just gonna leave it alone and let it do what it's gonna do. At first, I was saying that I kind of wanted to, um, what was that? I kind of wanted to get cut it into a step, but I don't think I want to do that. I'm just gonna let it grow. I'm just gonna let it grow and do whatever I want to do. I was thinking about getting it braided, but I don't even know if I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna let it be. Wash it and twist it. Wear my little 2-strand twist. Uh, wear my wigs. Do whatever I want to do, and that's it. Yeah, I'm glad I found him because I was wondering, was he still there? Because unfortunately, COVID hit a lot of businesses. I'm pretty sure everywhere. I was going to say here in the Bay Area. I can only speak of the Bay Area. But COVID hit a lot of businesses hard. Like a lot of businesses closed down after COVID. And tattoo, if you're not running, and he got a shop where I don't think nobody was really working in there with him but his sister. And he said sometimes she would go back to China or Korea, wherever they're from. She didn't stay here the whole time. And so he had a small tattoo shop. Yeah, I'm pretty sure during COVID it was closed. You know what I mean? So, and then, people have to come back to wanting to get tattoos and stuff. I'm pretty sure all the tattoo shops were closed. So it's good to see that he is still in business because he has been in business in Alameda for a long time. A long time. Because was working for Naval Air Station when I was in my 20s and the shop was open, and I am in my 50s now. So he has been there for a minute. So I'm happy for him. I really am. When you see a small, and it's a small, it's a small shop. When you see a small business and it is holding up, but see, he has one of those type of tattoo places that the tattoos are very reasonable. You don't have to have an appointment. You can, just walk in and get a tattoo. Like, real, and he does really good work. So, he's known here in the Bay Area. A lot of people know him. Yeah. Hey, Melissa. Yeah, well, if you got a business and your business survived COVID, you got a good business because a lot of restaurants and everything closed down. So, um, I'm really happy for him because it's still businesses that are, restaurants and stuff that are closing down because of COVID, because of what happened. My nose has been itching all day. I don't know what's going on. So that's it, y'all. I just wanted to come on and say happy birthday to my son and tell him how much I love him. And, I don't care how old you get, you still gonna be my baby. Because he was my last child. And, I feel like there is a significance there when, when you're not going to have any more kids. You give that last child you had, you give them everything, I think. You give them all of the nurturing, all of everything you have, you pour it into that child. And my son, he will never realize that. He don't know that. So I just, hopefully one day he'll look at this video because he don't watch my videos. But, I don't want to say if something happens to me, but hopefully one day he'll look at this video and be like, damn, she really do love me. Because, after your kids get a certain age, I'm not going to say that they don't think that you love them. They just I think after they get grown, they think that your love is different, but it's not. I love you as much now as I did when, you were a little kid. You still my baby. You gonna always be my baby. I don't care, how old you are. So hopefully one day he'll see this and he'll be like, she love me. My mama love me. Yeah, I do. I wish him all the all the best. He is um he went to Pismo Beach. He went to the beach and he's staying at a hotel. He said that overlooks the water. And it's weird that both of my kids have the same attraction to water that I have. Now, neither one of them, they both know how to swim. And it's not that they want to be near the water to swim. They just want that energy. They just love to be around bodies of water. They don't have to be in it. I'm not a swimmer. I don't know how to swim, but I love the water. I love being near the water. I love the sound that the water makes, all of that. Yeah, I mean, they were telling us at first to, they wanted people to eat out though to help these businesses not close down. I mean, I did understand that whole eat out thing because they knew that if these businesses didn't generate money, they were going to have to close down. You were born to lifeguards for parents. And as a Cancer, I feel the aura for water is definitely a calling. It's calming. Yeah, I'm. People have always told me you don't like water because you a Leo. Don't know cats love water. I love to be around it. Now I can sit there and watch the water for hours, but I'm not gonna get in it. I'm not. The bathtub and the shower is deep enough for me. And I have a fear. It's not it's a genuine fear of water is what I have. I have tried to learn how to swim, but I have a fear, a a, a deep rooted fear. Like I said, I must have drowned in one of my previous lives. It's that type of fear. It's like get in the water. If the water gets too deep, I literally almost panic. So I've told myself in one of my previous lives I must have drowned. I had to for me to have that much of a fear of water. I had to have drowned in a previous life because I don't want to have nothing to do with water like that. Now I can fill the bathtub up. I'm cool with the bathtub, but that's it. And I'm cool. And the crazy thing is, I didn't start taking showers until I was in my late 20s. I didn't even want to take a shower. I didn't want the water falling down on me like that. Now, I've gotten used to taking showers. I love to take showers now. I wash my hair in the shower, everything. But when I was younger, I wouldn't even mess with the shower. I don't. My husband was trying to, and I trust him. Both my first husband tried to teach me how to swim. To be honest, I didn't really trust him like that because I always thought he was so small that he wasn't gonna be able to help me if something happened. My husband now, he is big. He like 6 feet, 300 pounds. So I trust him. I've always trusted him. I was like, okay, well, something happened. At least he can, grab me or, hold me or whatever. And I've always felt safe with him, but I don't feel safe in that water. Oh, your birthday is today. Also, happy birthday. Her creative life. Happy birthday. Yeah, my friend, her daughter's birthday is today. And I didn't even know that. Like, and her little girl is like 4 years old. And I remember when the little girl was born and everything. I remember when the little girl was born and everything and did not realize that she shared a birthday with my son. So happy birthday. Yeah, I every year I have said that I'm going to take swimming lessons. And every year it's been a no. I get close to it and back out. And these are, of course, like the last place that I was calling, they had swimming lessons for adults, for people that are scared and, all that kind of stuff. But I was like, I'm not doing it. My husband was like, I'll go with you. Babe, you can do this. I'll even take the lessons with you. And he knows how to swim, but he knows how to swim, but he said he's not, he doesn't really consider himself a really strong swimmer. But he was like, I'll take the lessons with you. It's something that we can do together. And I was like, I never want to. I went and bought bathing suits and everything. And I chickened out. I don't know. See, when I was little, I had so many ear infections that when my friends were learning how to swim, my mother didn't think that it was a good idea for me at the time because I was having all these problems with my ears and sinuses and all of this kind of stuff. So my mother didn't think it was a good idea. And so that summer, all of my friends learned how to swim and I didn't. And I would go to the neighborhood pool with them, but I wouldn't get in. And we just kept getting older and older, and I grew out of the whole ear situation. But when I finally grew out of the ear situation, the kids that were learning how to swim was little kids, and I didn't want to be in there with them little kids. And so that kind of messed me up. So then I just didn't learn. As a child, I didn't learn. So after I had kids, my first husband, he was like, no, I don't want my kids to be like you. I want my kids to know how to swim because, anything can happen. And he taught them how to swim, and I wouldn't let him teach me because I couldn't even be there when he taught them. Because, he had that throw you in the pool mentality, and I couldn't be there to watch that. But the kids came home after they had learned how to swim and was like, yeah, daddy threw us in the pool, and I was crying at first, and see, I couldn't watch that. And they learned how to swim, they know how to swim, but mama don't. Tina talking about making a vlog. If they let me, I will. I don't know. I'm seriously thinking about it because the lessons are not that far from where we live. So if they let my husband vlog it, I will do it. Y'all, why did I buy this? Can y'all see this? I wonder what this tastes like. Y'all gonna come back tomorrow and we gonna taste this. It is a gummy Lunchable. Does it come with sauce? Yes. We about to open it. I'm not gonna taste it now, but we gonna open it. It has sauce. What would the sauce be? What is the sauce? When my husband saw this, he was laughing. Gosh, you get 4 pizzas. I'm not eating all this shit. It's some kind of sauce right there. And I guess this the cheese. On it. This tomorrow. We gonna eat this tomorrow, y'all. Well, we gonna eat one of them. We ain't eating all this shit. We gonna eat one. We gonna taste it. We gonna eat one little gummy pizza. I'm gonna try to get my husband to eat one. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to put that sauce on it. Ooh, guess what the sauce is? Some type of corn syrup. We definitely don't need that. Well, we gonna taste it. It's not like we gonna eat the whole box. We gonna taste it. That's it, y'all. You like gummy candy? I all I like is Sour Patch Kids. I like Sour Patch Kids, and that's it. I don't like nothing else. No other. Well, Mike and Ike's, but is that Mike and Ike's considered gummy? No, huh? I like Sour Patch Kids. That's my candy. Like I can OD off of them. I love those. Yeah, girl. I'm only gonna put like I'm gonna drizzle that because I'm not about to go into no diabetic coma eating all that just straight sugar. You know, I used to like gummy bears. I think I ate too many of them. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. It is 4 o'clock in the morning. What? Yeah, you should be asleep. 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna be. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna be knocked out in a couple of hours. It's 8 o'clock here. I probably ain't going to sleep till no. I probably ain't going to sleep till like 12. I don't get sleepy until 12 o'clock. But 4 o'clock in the morning, girl, I'm gonna be knocked out. I don't see why you not sleep. 4 a.m. Well, I'm glad you here. I'm glad you caught me. But you better go on and get you some rest. Well, I'm finna get off here too though. And clean up my workstation because I was making some bracelets today and I didn't clean up. How many did I make? I made this one that says happy. Can y'all see? It's blue. I gotta cut the strings off. I'll probably do that. This one says mercy. Grace and mercy. I like to wear these together. I already have one that says grace. I love these multicolored beads. And then I made this one for my Oshun members. So if anybody is a member of the channel and they haven't received their bracelet, you'll receive one of these. And this one says love. And it's just multicolored seed beads. So people who join the channel, this one says love. So if you become a member of the channel, everybody that becomes a member of the channel receives a little gift bag from me. And in that gift bag could be a few bracelets, a card, something personalized. You'll receive something personalized from me in your membership package. So everybody that becomes a member of the channel receives a handwritten note from me and like one or two bracelets, a crystal, something. With me thanking you for becoming a member of the channel. And it's something that we will all share because I normally wear one of those Oshun bracelets myself. So all of us have something that connects us to each other. So everybody get that when they join the channel. Because y'all don't be requesting your readings for the month. So I ain't gonna be begging y'all because I done told y'all 1,000 times when you get ready for your reading. If you're a member of the channel, when you get ready for your reading, to let me know. You get one reading a month. Either you get one reading a month, or you get to chit chat with me, a personal phone call from me. If you want to just talk to me for 30 minutes, shoot shit, then do that. Um, all you have to do is set up an appointment, and hey, it's my monthly 30 minutes, and I will give you the number and you can call me. Y'all don't be doing that. If y'all want to just pay to be a member, then be a member. But I know if I was a member of somebody's channel and they had perks, I would take advantage of that because I was a member of someone's channel and the person didn't have anything. Like the only thing they had was you get different videos. And that just wasn't enough for me. Like I am going to start doing some members only videos. But I have perks. And if y'all don't claim them, that's y'all. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Tina, they better speak up. They better. I'm here. So that's it, you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. I gotta clean up my jewelry making station and put everything back. As a matter of fact, I need to put my crochet stuff in the garage because I can't crochet right now until they look at this thumb. And I think they look at it Thursday. I think. So I can't crochet until my thumb is looked at. Because I think I'm going to get a steroid injection in my thumb. So I'm on rest until that happens. So I love you guys. I will probably talk to you tomorrow. Don't forget to check out the last video I posted. I think it was, I tasted that Bailey's Irish cream cake. It was interesting. So yeah, I've been, letting it rest, and I do have this uh topical cream that I put on there. So I've been using that, and I have this little splint thing that I put on there. I don't know what that thing at, but I do have that. So I've been using that. So I will see you guys later. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. And happy birthday, Hakeem. I love you. I'll talk to you guys later. I love you. Bye.